Hilarious Club,
the podcast.
Guys, welcome back to our podcast. My name is Li Ying. As I said, I've been doing comedy since 2019 September, and I've been doing tons of shows thanks to the stage time that I've been given to. I guess because we only have 5 comedians in Shanghai that are doing English stand-up. No, actually about 50 comedians plus people that do open mics. I don't like to call people open micers because I think it takes a lot of balls to get on stage and make a fool of yourself when people don't laugh. But anyways, I've been doing shows a lot and I got compliments, thankfully. And usually after a show, a lot of people came over to me. They're like, "Oh my God, Liying, you're so brave. You're so brave. You're so brave." The look in their eyes is like, I just killed a tiger and I survived. I'm like, what the heck? The guy who just killed a male comedian, the compliment he got was like, "Oh my God, you're so funny, you're so funny, you're so funny." And then the girls just start taking off their bras. I'm like, why don't you do that for me? But I guess, okay, it's common when people see me like stretching, doing push-ups, and before I get ready to get on the show, I think there's a certain amount of fear when it comes to doing stand-up comedy and public speaking in general. And I understand that. So that's why today our topic is gonna start off with how to deal with fear when it comes to public speaking. And in Shanghai, in China in general, there is a huge demand when it comes to improving public speaking skills. There are a lot of workshops, and there are a lot of people that come to our shows. They come to watch open mics, and they ask me, "Hey, Li, can I speak?" They really want to speak, also because they don't understand how stand-up how stand-up comedy open mics work. They think anybody can just go up and do it. Actually, it's true, but they just like, "Can I speak?" This is a very funny way of asking. And also, when we do crowd work as a host, some audience just take over and start talking, sharing their life stories. And I'm like, whoa, it's not your show. So with that said, you probably get the idea that people want to talk, but they're afraid of doing that. So we have a guest today that's the perfect person to talk about public speaking, managing fear, and also plus public speaking, he does improv and comedy, and he is an Indonesian cool guy. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest, the lovely and funny and posh looking, okay. And a guy who really represents Asian male very well. Okay, let's welcome Andreas.
All right.
And also, that's the spirit of Adam Hamilton, okay, my co-host, whose life goal is to break stereotypes about black people. And guess what? He is late. Now he's gonna make a grand entrance. Welcome, my co-host.
Yeah, I'm not completely late. I was here. Yeah. It's not late when you come in with a tie on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, nice suit and everything.
Late. Right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's not about me. It's about Andreas.
Andreas.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It's a pleasure. That's a lot of label.
That's a lot of.
Perfect guess. Asian man. Oh my God. But yeah, I am just someone who is trying to be more brave and doing more and more expressions of the art of communication. And I think I have been doing this for the last 2 or 3 years. I fell in love at first sight when somebody, just literally one person in the audience would look at me and say, "Wow, that was awesome. I enjoyed your talk. I enjoyed your comedy set." I think that was what initially catapulted me into this whole, I guess, field. And yeah, I come from Indonesia. I've been in China for almost 8 years now. It's been a bit long.
So you're 23?
No.
I thought you
It's
said
very
you
bad
came here at the age of 15.
There is some intervals in between. So
Okay.
27 this year.
Okay, 27.
Oh my
okay.
God, you're 27?
You're
Jesus
27.
Christ.
You also look 27.
No, I don't.
Okay,
No.
because you didn't shave today.
You're tired.
Yeah. I'm a 48-year-old, like with a heart disease and all this other stuff. That's amazing. Yeah. All right, great.
All right. So do you? It's like being scared of talking publicly. something you deal with a lot when you are coaching students?
I don't necessarily have a fear when I coach students.
But do they have fear?
Well, of course, like
Okay.
because I myself had a fear before. In fact, it all started because of that. I remember I was invited to become my best friend's best man speech. Like he was
Oh,
my
really?
buddy.
Okay.
And I said, I will do my best. I will do it immaculately. I prepared script 1 month beforehand, so I did everything.
Yeah.
And I had like what I like to call a late stage fright. So
Okay.
I will not feel nervous until I come on the stage.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember even 5 minutes before I went up, the MC told, hey, are you good? Super. Absolutely. Like, no problem. But then, because also my friend was super rich, he had like almost 500 people in his wedding.
Oh.
And the moment I held onto the mic and I saw people staring at me,
Yeah.
I froze. Like literally, I forgot every single word. I was just like, congrats.
Oh, shit!
And
You're kidding me.
yeah, like everybody, it felt like an eternity. But obviously, being the good friend that he was, he helped me out by just literally stood up from his chair and hugged me. And after that, like, okay, thank you. And everybody just clapped, and I'm like, shit, I literally just said congrats. And like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so from that experience, I was slightly traumatized because like everyone was there.
I feel traumatized just listening to it. Oh my
Dude,
god.
yeah, it was
Jesus.
insane.
Do you still think about that when you get on stage to this day? Like when you go on and perform comedy?
I had it for the first 1 year. Like, what if that
okay.
happened?
Okay.
But I guess recently, if I perform in a bigger crowd, I don't necessarily associate myself to be as paralyzed.
Yeah.
But there's always that lingering thought, like, oh, what if you? Can we curse here?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
If we mess up, if you fucked up on the stage, like what would happen, right? I guess that's always a question. But now I am able to control myself more in a way that then people would say, oh, you don't look like you're nervous, even though inside it's just like a thunderstorm. So I think that's what shifted. But yeah, to go back to that story, literally after that wedding, when I returned back to China, I said, okay, I gotta fix this. This is not cool. So I went around and looked for help. Hey, can you help me with public speaking? And ironically, I guess, I heard about this from a date that I had. So she said, oh, there was this club called Toastmasters,
Oh, okay.
which has a lot of people practicing public speaking. And initially, she wanted for us to go together the next week. But then things didn't work out. So, so like I just came to the club the next week alone. She didn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Ah, damn.
But yeah, but that was like I guess the biggest turning point I saw even during my first impromptu speech. I felt like Toastmasters can be really cruel because you are like a super newbie at public speaking, but then they will just, hey, come up here, we give you a topic, speak.
Yeah.
It's just very, very scary. So I remember doing that, but I realized even when I was scared, like what you said about people just wanting to speak up, I felt some form of solace. Like, this is nice, having someone to listen to me. And I felt somewhat freed, even though it was still a scared, I would say it's a very scary experience still. And that's how I start to just pound through until today.
That's a very inspirational story. And I guess now you just want to call those 500 guys, hey, I am a public speaking coach now, especially the ladies. If you're watching, this guy is not stuttering anymore.
Yeah, hopefully.
You're like the David Goggins of public speaking. You know what I mean? You started out and then you did some military training, but that's like Toastmasters and you came out. Sounds pretty cool.
It was wild, yeah.
You just gotta start cussing at people and be like, yeah, you gotta.
But do you think, because with the training at Toastmasters and the workshops you went on, and do you think you naturally have a talent? You just didn't know about it? Because I'm sorry to interrupt. Obviously, you're one of the best from the Toastmasters. That's what I heard.
Amen.
Yeah. So.
I have another belief. I would say it is always lying dormant inside everyone, the natural ability to speak, because no matter how introverted you are, when you meet the right person or a group of people, there's always that moment when you're like, wow, this is amazing. You talk about the one guy, maybe that super hot guy that you had a crush on, or even when you're talking about something that made you pissed off, you had that. At least one person who would listen to you and just like, yeah, you're such a great storyteller. But now it's more about how we can shed off some of these layers to now being as comfortable to speaking to a larger group of people. And it starts slowly, maybe first to a group of 5, 10, 15, and eventually hundreds. So if you ask me, do I have a talent? I would say yes, I do. But it took time for me to get comfortable into speaking as who I am. Because especially when we talk about fear of public speaking, it's more about people doubting, oh, can they accept the real me? Because we all have our role models, like, oh, can I speak like Obama? Oh, can I speak like Oprah? But hold on, like the question is, can you speak like yourself? Like my coaching philosophy is always, I want to make you speak on the stage just like how you speak off the stage.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that.
That's very good. I think in China, people like public speaking, but a lot of people have very wrong understanding of public speaking. They thought the public speaking is like Martin Luther King.
Oh yeah.
I have a dream.
Yeah, like
Yeah, go
in
through
college,
so much.
because I'm pretty old. When I was in college, okay, which was 20
years
years ago,
ago.
like every morning, the guys will go up on a hill and then they start reciting, I have a dream. And I'm like, see,
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Wow.
That's how black culture is doing to this part of the
Right,
world.
right.
And also, can you imagine dating these guys? That's why I was single my whole college time.
Everything was a dream.
right. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
Do you have fear before you go on stage?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I dissipate that fear in what I call a PSP, a pre-show poo. Yeah, or you call it PSD, which is a pre-show dump. So right before I get on stage, I try to get all that, and then I, go to the bathroom. I feel light as a feather. Yes, a feather. I feel light as a feather, and then I shake off the nerves. For me, as long as I don't eat much or whatever, then I feel like just like, in the moment and can react. But there's always nerves. If there's not nerves, that's dangerous for me. Because if there's no nerves, I've had two moments in my life doing stand-up where there were no nerves, I felt nothing. I went on stage and bombed. I was just awful. I was just like, I was not even, it was just, but every time I have nerves or something, then I feel a little bit more secure, actually.
Yeah. As long as it's not overwhelming, it doesn't take over you. That's good nerves. Sometimes it's very interesting. Like the other day, we were doing comedy as well.
Yeah.
You were hosting, and I took a long break. And I was in the bathroom, like I was pacing, like I was like I didn't know what I was about to talk about. But the minute I got on stage, I'm like, I got this. So it's very interesting. Like we are very mystical. Like our body, our mind, and a lot of people got held back just because of the uncertainty. But sometimes the uncertainty is not fear. Also, a certain amount of fear is good,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's good, so.
I was wondering, Andreas, I've seen you do stand-up, and you are like so expressive and exceptional. I'm sure a lot of that comes because you've done stand-up for not so long, right? But honestly, it feels like when I see you, you've done stand-up for such a long time. I'm sure that a lot of like you're able to jump into character, jump out of it. Like I really hope you keep going because I really love watching you. You put the audience in a moment, and you're a good storyteller there. I'm wondering though, for you as someone who started with public speaking and now is doing stand-up a bit more. Do you feel there's more anxiety, less anxiety? What's the difference for someone who straddles both worlds? I'm wondering for you, because I don't really do public speaking, just stand up, and so I don't really, curious.
Yes, good question.
One of my mentors told me that stand up is basically just the contemporary version of public speaking.
Okay.
What the best stand up comedian to him is someone who can make jokes, but in the end inspire people. Whereas a good public speaker is someone who inspires people while making jokes. So I came from that mindset. how can I incorporate humor into my speech, but at the same time, I'm still myself. Like I'm not trying to be a clown, because it's different.
That's how I
right?
feel. That your
Yeah.
style.
So, do I feel anxious? Of course. And that anxiety always comes from expectation, right? When I first transitioned from a Toastmasters meeting into open mic at Park Tavern, I still remember it was Dewey who hosted
Oh yeah,
that
do
show.
it. Yeah.
You talk about dating.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
trapped, being locked down with a girl.
Oh, that was the second one.
The second one. Okay.
It was so bad.
Oh, the first one also I was there. I don't think it was bad. Also, you brought a girl there. What the heck?
You had good memories.
What the heck? What the heck? Okay, don't bring dates to your first open mic. Okay?
I
Don't
would
do
agree
that.
with that. But when you look like Andreas, you can do that.
Nah.
Because like every day is a new date. That's for Andreas.
Nah. back then I was into girls, like I was addicted. But never mind.
Back then he was into girls. Now he's into guys.
Or both. and yeah, it's the expectation of can I make these people laugh? Whereas in a speech, I was already comfortable at can I make a point? And I was confident that I will make a point. So I was patient with it. But for the longest time, almost 2 years when I did stand up, I was always haunted by this question. Will you make people laugh? This has been a long time. It's been 2 minutes. They're still not laughing. You know, like so. In a sense, actually bombing, and the reason why I think it's very essential progress for like a stand-up comedian is how can we be patient when even the comedians are not laughing?
Yeah.
And honestly, the biggest turning point in my stand-up, I guess, endeavor was Mac.
Oh yeah, Max.
Actually, like
Wow.
him
Mac
and all.
is-
Max
Max would
legacy.
be so surprised.
Mac,
He's actually
Mac,
teaching-
inspire people.
Inspire people. I'm
Mike,
sorry.
I think he
Indirectly.
indirectly. Yeah. He was so abrasive, and he's like, "Nah, dude, you're not funny, because you are trying too hard."
Oh, that's what he said. That
He-
sounds very
he-
much like
yeah,
Mac.
he's brutal.
He was.
Yeah.
He's brutal.
Yeah.
He was too candid.
I love
Yeah.
him for that.
Even Jenny, his girlfriend, was like, "Don't do that."
Wait, don't tell Mac's girlfriends online.
The many others will be pissed off.
Yeah, and Jess. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, like, hey, you go up there and just be you. Don't even worry about being funny. Worry if you cannot be yourself.
Yeah.
And that night I tried. I remember I was making that bit about dating apps and just like swiping, and that was the biggest laughter that I've gotten. I think that was around 6 months in,
Oh,
and
nice.
I was just like, oh, so this is how it feels like just being myself.
Yeah.
And talk about shedding off. Then I start to sculpt it layer by layer. Like, oh, let me try. Let's say speaking in a higher pitch. Am I comfortable? And then like start to get expressive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to a point now, I felt like I'm okay even looking silly, because if that is what it takes to narrate the story as how I would do it with my friend, because I know when I talk to my friend I would also communicate that way. So none of that would be staged, because then we contradicted what I said earlier of just being the you of this.
Yeah. So the message is like be natural, be yourself, and if you're still not funny,
Cliche
you're
as it
just not
sounds.
funny. You're just not meant to do
Yeah.
this. But I have slightly, different view with Adam when it comes to you. You're upcoming, and then you're fresh, and because I knew when you started off. So I feel that you haven't done this for a long time, not because you're not. You're very good. It's because you don't have the cliche kind of a comedian kind of a style. You know, when you see some people who have been watching a lot of stand-up and then writing jokes to follow a certain structure, you get like, it's not very interesting to me. I mean, you might get laughs,
Yeah.
but yours is like it's different. Yeah, especially the other day when I was watching you doing that mic at Soda, it was there's a lot of how do I put it? It's natural, and you're also communicating with people.
I think he has I always feel like he has a message and he's got structure in his jokes. Where it's not like he's not going on stage and he's saying, well, here's about my dad, and then all of a sudden, well, the thing about shoes is blank. You know, he's not like switching topics so randomly, and
I
it's
see.
not just this typical sort of setup punch. He's got like a theme,
Yeah,
and then a
a
message
theme,
he wants to
yes.
send out, and then he's putting jokes in there. So that's what is refreshing, I think,
Yeah.
that you're saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the confidence on the stage
The confidence,
is
okay.
what makes it feels like he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
For me, to me.
But okay, because like I didn't do it until very late. I remember when I was doing my master's, because you gotta attend a lot of academic conferences, right?
Yeah.
And when occasionally when I see a professor giving a talk, and there's humor in it, I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. That's the kind of thing that I also look up to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think we all have different styles. Anyways, let's talk about you being an Indonesian guy that looks like Chinese. Exactly. I want to share a little bit of personal vignette because, okay, Andreas has started touring the country by losing a lot of money. It sounds fancy when you tour. So we went to Nanjing and did a show for Mike Hurd. The sales wasn't very good, not because we were not good. It has a lot of reasons, okay, that I don't want to bore you with. After the show, yeah, it's the time, it's the season, everybody's traveling, okay? And then the local comedians took us to a rooftop party, and then the people there were, pretty fun. You were mingling, and then there are a lot of Chinese girls, and then they came to us, and then all the girls were speaking English with me. They're like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful! You're so beautiful!" They say that like 10 times, and they give me free drinks.
Of course
That's
they did.
that's the
For the
level.
story.
That's the average level of a tier 3 city in China.
Oh,
You're
okay.
so pretty, and
That's
then what? Okay, it is what it is. And then they speak Chinese with Andreas. And Andreas, what? And then they're like, stop pretending, dude, stop pretending. They got mad.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they got mad. They were aggressively hospitable. Seriously, they're too hospitable to
They
me.
were mad because you thought you were faking your
They're like, they
English or
think
something?
he's Chinese. He's a Chinese guy.
Oh.
And then they speak Chinese with him, but English with me. I'm Chinese.
That's
Chinese.
so weird.
And yes, and then they were so nice to me and
But they were
so
assholes.
rude to him.
Wow. You know, when girls are rude to you, it means they like you.
Yeah, it's
No.
just a spectrum. It's just a spectrum.
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
you should take it as a they're hating on you. So I think that's your everyday life.
Yeah, I think it definitely happens literally every part of my life, from just, let's say, going on the street and being stopped by a policeman and say, "Can I take a look at your ID?" And I say, "No, I only have Huzhao." And they all start to get alerted and like, "What do you mean? Are you trying to not confide to a authority?"
Right. Oh, shit.
Relax, I mean, I'm real Indonesian. I have the photo in my phone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or even at school, I literally had an episode last week where a mom, basically with my client, like they would say, "Oh, I thought you are a foreign professional speaker," but when they looked at me and they say, "Ah, you look Chinese," and then, "Oh, you speak pretty decent conversational Chinese," and I'm like, so you want me to speak broken Chinese?"
So the respect they
Yeah.
had for you dropped
Exactly.
because they think you're Chinese.
It was pretty frustrating, actually.
And that's a real just general problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a
White face,
putting-
black face.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can't speak on it too much, but it's something I've observed that like.
I
sometimes-
can. Okay, let me
you
do
can.
that.
Like Chinese people look at other Chinese people and like somehow there's like more disrespect given. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed in my industry where like people like they say, "Oh, whatever," like a client is more rude to my Chinese colleagues
Yeah.
and less than me. And I feel like that's a real problem.
Here, like in education, it is what it is.
Foreigner,
In education, I think it's a problem in Asia. In Asia, like you're hired, in a lot of cases, you're hired based on the color
Yeah,
of your face
Now, this
instead of your qualifications.
Now this was historically the policies have changed since then, right? I mean, people
Not
are
so
actually-
much.
You don't think so?
Not so much. No.
I've noticed that they're actually washing out a lot of like foreigners or whatever without proper.
I think maybe it's
qualifications.
changing, but still, it is
I mean,
what it
these
is.
stereotypes
Yeah.
come from reality, which is a historically.
It's not okay. There are studies. Okay,
Oh,
because
okay.
like I study English language education.
Yeah.
So there it's a fact. It's a fact, and it's changing I think, but it's slowly.
Mm.
It's slowly. There are still price tags, different price tags based
Yeah.
on the color of your face.
There used to be. I know some friends who literally they wouldn't work. Their whole job was actually going in as a white foreign face to just public speak to like draw people to a brand, and they weren't even a part of the industry or whatever, and that was what they would do. And I've even heard even within my industry, people were like. They want me to be in pictures where I have lighter skin, or they would rather advertise other people, or whatever, right? It's just, I mean, it's, you can laugh. It's all right. It's all right.
Have you seen that advertisement about a literally whitener, like a detergent whitener?
Oh yeah,
They put a black guy.
yeah. So it used to be called Heiren Dagao or whatever, and now it's called Dali or whatever. I can't believe that's still a brand that's still working.
It's okay. It happens here a lot. It also happens like in Malaysia a lot. I used to work for an international school in Malaysia. Like there are different price tags. Yeah, when I was hired at first, my pay wasn't very good. After a year, I was demanding for a higher pay.
Wow.
Because I witnessed some white guy being fired because they can't teach. And I'm and I'm working my ass off. I have a proper degree. I had years of experience and still don't love me. I deserve a pay.
No, totally. Same here, man.
Raise,
You know, when I meet someone for the first time, a family, I have to go through hoops just to prove to them that I'm legitimate, because there's always so I show them my degrees, I show them my background, all the things. I feel like I have to do a little bit more than if I were a white person in the position, which I think is not just the phenomenon of China, but it's a global sort of like
especially in
problem.
Asia. Especially in Asia, because I worked.
The fandom of white.
Yeah, I lived and worked in Malaysia for 6 years. Now I came back to China. Same shit.
It was very intense. Like even that night that you guys watched, I don't know if you remember. After telling a bit, literally saying that I am Indonesian, there's this Chinese dude who came to me and said, "Was that just a joke, or are you really Indonesian?" And I'm like,
fucking with me,
sir.
Number one.
Why would I joke about being another nationality?
Yeah.
And also, if I were to fake it, why the fuck would I want to fake as an Indonesian? Why not American? Arabian? That sounded way cooler than just I don't know. I mean, Indonesia is the biggest country in Southeast Asia, but still.
Do you think this is a blessing in disguise?
Always. I think there are always two sides of the coin, because people would then start to look at me and say, "Oh, wow. Do you then have better English?" So they will automatically perceive me, because I think for Indonesian people, it is somewhat easier to learn English. So when I speak pretty fluently, then I would receive that, a step above. And they would say, "You're very fluent." That has been a lot of the reasons why I have been getting opportunities in the past. But on the flip side, as we talked before, sometimes this perception of being an Asian then somewhat diminished the quality that I would otherwise been able to display. And just like Adam and maybe even you, I had to actually start off really, really slow when I made the transition from being a business consultant to coaching, because they would see at your skin color. I barely started at that time, and I don't have that much credibility. So luckily I was able to still get some trust from the people around me. So from 1 or 2 friends, we started let's do one-on-one. I even had to do free coachings just to fill up the resumes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did like 1 month of 20 sessions every few days, and it's free.
Free coaching, free comedy, the struggle of an Asian male.
Yeah.
Right, you're really patient. I observed that you're a very observant person, because when we were at the party, I was just observing you. Okay, and then I feel that you're just observing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to see what people are doing in the entire event. I'm not usually the guy who would just jump to the dance floor, partly because I don't dance, but also number 2, I'm usually just the kind of guy, especially in clubs, just smoke shisha or maybe drink something and just sit on the sofa.
Okay.
Interesting.
Cool.
I feel like I don't know why. I just thought if you would dance like tango or salsa or something.
I could. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I just thought it was you, but maybe you don't dance at all.
No, not even in my bathroom. No.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
It's a
Okay.
big side. No.
All right, so now we're all sitting here. You know, you're supposed to, Adam, you're supposed to hire both of us.
Hire both. Oh my God. You
That's the
motherfucker.
joke.
Okay, all right. It's so interesting. So, do you want me to go into
So
that?
I see myself in fire.
No, you don't have to go into that.
Yeah,
but
was,
it's just
that
like
was
a
during
very
the
interesting.
pandemic, man. Come
Yeah.
on, business has suffered. You know? So,
I'm sorry to put you on spot.
Nah, it's all right.
but
That's fine.
You were supposed to pay us monthly, and now we're
No, it was not monthly. It was by client.
By client.
Yeah, by client. And if I got into a certain number, which, by the way, next year I'm thinking that will happen. And it's so funny because now I know that you do public speaking competitions. I literally have like 2 or 3 students in Beijing who. She doesn't want to do debate competitions because she's too afraid of that, but she wants to do public speaking. So I literally thought, oh my God, I would like to set you guys up right now, and I not throw it away, but like I'll create a group or whatever. So maybe you can just deal it in your way. But yeah, being an entrepreneur of business, you try to set up contracts. Yeah. What am I supposed to say? No, it's true. Oh my God, whatever. It's
Sherry,
true.
help me out here.
I'm not
Sherry
actually
made the
that
decision.
nervous. I'm actually not as nervous as it makes it seem like I am right now. I think
we're
it's,
good, we're
it's
good.
the part and parcel of business. I did want, and I'm hoping that there's enough students to do that because I need a team as I'm growing. But
Yeah.
yeah, thanks a lot, Lee. You motherfucker.
Yeah, you're gonna step into the comedians world. I like working
Yeah.
with comedians, to be honest. Yeah, seriously, because you can say anything.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But at least that's me. Maybe I hurt a lot of people that I don't know.
I was in a room with Ian to the point that literally every sentence that he says is just a joke. And I was okay because I was just like ignoring him. I wanted to sleep in between my sets.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even Jorge that was like, dude, can you stop?
Sometimes.
It's getting boring.
Yeah, right. So
Right.
you're saying that you want to have a headliner show by the end of August.
Yeah, we are planning for that.
We means
Oh yeah, myself and a couple of people from Toastmasters. We kind of want to like see if we can pump out a show.
Oh snap! That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Because we also have some aspiring comedians in the Toastmasters community who wanted to give it a try, but they've always, I guess, perceived open mic as an even scarier than it looks like, because they've always been in a very positive, supportive community. Like
yes.
to a point
Yeah.
that it's Toastmasters. You say anything, people will clap. That's it.
And
Yeah.
because I think like everybody there is a speaker,
Yeah.
so they know it's hard to
Yeah.
go up there and make people laugh.
Yeah.
But here it's like entertainment.
Yeah.
The audience like make me laugh.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
real.
Okay, and there are a lot of people that come with their own problems, and sometimes not only do they
Problems
not
that we
laugh,
don't, yeah.
okay, they're gonna heckle you. Yeah, shout out things like, don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Yeah, be funnier, So
yeah.
of course it's difficult, right? So the other day, last night after the show, a girl asked me like, "Hey, Lian, I want to try stand up. So what made you start?" I'm like,
Stood up.
depression.
It's so weird when after someone sees your set and they're like, "Oh, I want to start it." I don't know if to feel like that I inspired them or that I really did a shitty job.
No.
Because
no.
oh man, I did so shitty. They think that they can so easily do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not that easy.
Very negative.
Well,
I've never thought of that.
Well, I guess that's a weird. But it's just like, okay, maybe you're right. I'm a more negative person, pessimistic. But it's just like it's not as easy to do it. And then I'm glad that people are so confident to do it. But there's a certain element of like when someone looks at like a famous comedian and then they go, instead of enjoying it, they're like, oh, I can do that. Like what kind of gall does it take for someone to think like they look at someone who's been doing it for years, decades, and they see their set, they're like, oh, I can maybe. It's like, do you understand what the amount of effort and time that person took to get where they are right now? And it's just, I don't know, that's what I feel like. Everyone's environment is different. I think it's very encouraging here, but I think that sometimes stand-up comedy, at least as taught in the cauldron that is New York City, which is like you got to fight for a minute of stage time, and people are like hustling, grinding. It's just, it's just. I'm not trying to have I don't have like a high nose here or whatever. I just feel like it's just a different environment. You know what I mean?
I guess also it has something to do with that. It's an industry there, and there's a clear path to success. Here, especially English stand-up, most people are doing it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
good point. That's a
Chinese
good
stand-up is different. They also have
a clear path
to
industry.
success. Okay,
There's a
in
market for
too.
English comedy here, right? There's a market for sure. We got good friends who are in that market. Making,
That's true.
But I would definitely need your help for the headline. Scary.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I would just say you're gonna do it at Toastmaster, right?
So we will not bring the brand of Toastmasters. So it will be like some private event that we'll
private
be
event.
holding.
Okay, all right. That's nice. I think it's like it's also you're doing something collectively as a group, and
Yeah,
you guys
support each other.
also, that's very interesting. The amount of energy that you guys have. Sometimes, to an extent, I feel like it's kind of fake. To be honest.
They're just really nice people. Comedians, on average, I think, are pessimistic and sort of cynical.
Assholes.
But Toastmaster people, they're like genuinely good people. Like they are nice people. Like I think. I think they're really like that, and they hang out with each other like for birthday parties and like they eat together, and it's like.
Oh my God!
It's like a little disgusting.
The other day I was like, I cannot stand people that do things in large groups. Seriously, like especially in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia. You know, when I was like eating at the canteen, my classmates, they said, "Oh my God, are you okay? You're alone." I'm like, I want to be alone. They all do sports together, go to church, temple, mosque together, everything together in a big group. So I'm like, this is also very interesting. Comedians are fucked up people. You're on stage. That's why it's called stand-up comedy. You're just there by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, can't do things with other people. And then I'm like, when I'm surrounded with a lot of people and everybody is so positive, I'm like, what is this? Like a church?
Yeah, it feels a little fake.
Yeah.
It feels a little like a cult or something.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, welcome to the show. Toastmasters a cult. It's fucking weird. No, sorry. No kidding.
Yeah, it's a cult.
But it's a tight-knit community, man. They got really intense people there, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess a lot of people, they have a lot of energy for other people. I don't. I mean, like, I can only do this. After this, I'll be shut down. You know, I go home, cook, clean, no talking. I'm not gonna bug any man. Like, I've done my talking. I'm amazed by people that are. Because not only you're talking, also the energy you're sending out. You gotta be positive, you know, it's like there's a button, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But maybe you can also think about it as in a positive cycle, because you receive that positivity. Compare the kind of experience you would have had your first time speaking in an open mic, and everybody just stare at you with, that's funny? That's not funny at all, right? Versus a club in which you will still be clapped with the biggest, literally, with the biggest support, and they were cheering for you. They would actually even give you evaluation. So you feel like, oh, they are hearing me out. And so you also take that energy and channel it the next time you go there. Because that was what literally happened to me in the first meeting, even though I totally sucked and I trembled. But then it kind of like gave me this appreciation, brought forth a new part in me that, okay, I also want to extend this. And that it becomes a cycle, and sooner or later you get more and more comfortable. So I would say stand-up is more like the disciplined teachers, like, you're not good. Come back here and be better. Whereas here it's like, you're okay. There's still room for you to improve. Come back again, and we will still be here for you. So it's just two different styles. Like some people like different teachers, so pick your poison.
Yeah, there's something very aggressive about stand-up because it's like you know immediately whether or not they like it or not.
Yeah.
Like laughter is such an interesting, like social phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think, right? And how do you cause that laugh? And every audience is different, right? So I love it because it feels like a puzzle all the time, personally.
Exactly. Now, okay, I know you're very busy and you schedule. He just told me everything he does on every night. Okay, all filled up. Okay, so Friday is your date night. Okay, so what is it like dating as an Indonesian guy that looks Chinese? Is that like a?
When do you reveal to them that you're Indonesian in the date?
As soon as possible.
By the way, I'm Indonesian. What?
You know, but I had moments where I intentionally not revealed that I can't speak Chinese. I would just say I don't understand, and then they would.
You're mean.
Then
You're
they would
like,
go,
oh, that's great.
No, that's mean. Like I'm just gonna, okay, don't tell this girl, and then she's gonna speak. I can judge her Chinese.
No, she was literally gossiping about me in front of her friend, and I'm enjoying it.
What did she say? That's amazing. Wait, that's amazing. Oh, I love that, man.
I can have that facade now. I mean, back then it was in college, and she was like,
okay.
"Oh, this guy's cute," but then this guy was a gamer because I used to be a gamer addict, and then she said like, "If only he doesn't play game." And in my heart, I'm like, "Well, I love my game more than you." So fuck off, right?
Yeah, games
like,
are great.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything different though. The only, again, coming back to this whole face. People would just naturally assume that you're Chinese and start speaking Chinese and start to impose some Chinese stereotypes on you. But I'm definitely not, and that is also why I guess my.
What are you not?
What?
You're like all the stereotypes. Okay,
Yeah, I don't even know what those are.
Not applicable to me. Like what are the
You
ones?
You sound offended.
No, I sound interested.
Okay.
Like these stereotypes are not applicable. I'm breaking all these stereotypes. So
Well,
what are they?
For once,
Oh my God.
I would say I don't treat my girlfriend like as.
How Chinese guys treat their girlfriend?
Yeah, it's just like
you don't take photos for them.
I feel like they put them too much on a pedestal.
Okay.
For me, I want someone that can sail boats together. So I don't want them to be on the same boat, but I want to be sailing to the same island.
Two boats?
Sure, why not? Because like I realized like when either one of the side, myself or the girl, start to cling on too much to the other,
How
then that's
do you
when
know
problem
how
comes.
Chinese guys treat their girlfriends? I don't even know.
Because they would then tell me. Because like some girls would literally.
That's your fault, man. You gotta go out there and start dating. If you're dating all the black people, you gotta date Chinese guys, and then you would be put on a pedestal.
This is you. Like, yeah. Because like.
I date Chinese guys. I've never been on a pedestal.
You have never. Who? What?
10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you. All right, what do you say?
I mean, like maybe because you're at a different stage. Because she's older. Like.
People don't give a shit about me anymore.
But I would have Chinese girls who would like come to the date and say like, "Hey, you are so nice in like physical dates, like offline dates, but why you never give me attention after?" Because I felt like I will dedicate like 1 or 2 days that I would want to spend the entire day with you, but I also don't want like every day we're just gonna be like spending too much time together.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's not an Asian stereotype, but I feel like definitely I have like different behavior.
Yeah.
And different way for me to express my love or affection to this person.
So has it been going well for you because of
No. Because Chinese girls demand attention.
Yeah.
It-
Oh, that's what I was about to
it's
say.
very interesting
I
because
don't
like
think it's gonna
I was teaching this class and
Yeah.
the topic was dating and relationships. I'm like,
Yeah.
is it a red flag if the other person is too clingy? And everybody's like, no, it's good. We just spend time together.
I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but I want to let everyone know that I cannot speak my full opinion because my wife is right over there. She's listening to everything I say. I've got to tread lightly. I'm walking on
You want to
eggshells.
sleep on the sofa
Right.
tonight?
I think it's great to be clingy. Being clingy is the best thing.
You know, like my conversation back there.
I
with
just
my-
love when you spend time all the time. Don't you just love it?
Yeah.
All the
amazing.
time when you're spending time all the time.
You can't live it out. Yeah, dude.
There's nothing better.
I was blessed. Like my previous ex-girlfriend, redundant. My ex-girlfriend, our chat was just literally, what I always tell her is okay. Let's greet each other in the morning, just to
Well, you have to make rules.
just a little bit, you know.
You do
and
need
then-
rules.
Yeah, and like,
I
hey,
think you do need rules.
let's tell each other when you want to sleep, and then that's it. Like in the middle, you don't need to tell me what the fuck you're eating, who the fuck you're meeting. It's fine. You can keep it to yourself. And I was so thankful because she also wasn't like demanding, because we were doing long distance. Like, oh, we need to do video call.
Long distance is
But that also might be the reason why we broke up eventually. So,
Long distance is hard. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I'm more like of that kind of independent, I guess,
Do you only?
romantic partner.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you only date Chinese girls?
I only date someone who I can talk in a deep and in a deeper sense.
So what does it mean to talk in a different sense? I'm
So
sorry.
I want Chinese girls who can communicate English above conversational level.
Wait a second.
yeah,
Wait a
there-
second.
there-
You said talk in a deeper sense, and then you equated that
Because
with
if
talking
you don't
in
have
English.
because if you don't have the language capacity, then you're not going to be able to talk deeply.
What about
What if you're
what?
talking deeply in Chinese?
I
His
don't
level
have
is
the
not there.
capacity.
Okay. His
Oh,
level.
okay. My bad.
Yeah,
I
no
thought that
problem.
your Chinese is like
Uh,
awesome.
I think my
what
Chinese
about-
is still conversational.
What about other girls that can talk deeply?
Yeah, that is literally my number one criterion.
So you don't.
criterion.
Okay. So you don't care where they're from.
Yeah, I don't.
okay.
I did it like. I'm very diverse.
You're very diverse. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is she.
As long as this is what I say. As long as I can talk to her 25/8,
What's 25/8?
it's more than 24/7.
Oh my God.
That's so cringy. I know. Can we cut this out?
No, we're gonna keep that in, man. Yeah, he said that out of his brain.
Andreas,
He said that.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to talk
As long as I can
25/8,
Talk to you 25/8. Yeah.
When you poo, let's talk. You pee, let's talk.
so what do you talk about?
But that's where I want to go. It's like because
Deeply.
what is deep to everyone is different to
Yeah.
everyone else. So how do you define that? So, for instance, what could be deep to me is maybe like a philosophical conversation about existentialism, the meaning of life, or what are we trying to do? But maybe to someone else, it's like you know, the specific kind of food flavors that they like. I don't know, or like the kind of dog. I don't know. What is deep to you? I'm curious.
That's width. So,
Oh,
like, if
okay.
you start talking about different topics, like business, politics, or even food, you're not talking about what you really want, like, as a person. I think, like, when we talk about deep talks, it's always going to be something to do with purpose of life, or even relationship goals, or
Oh, I
even
see.
also opening up to your pain or happiness. So getting to know your other partner in a spiritual way.
Oh, I see.
I want that, because if I don't have that, I would very easily get bored.
Oh, totally.
The connection is not there.
So you're
Yeah.
talking about deep as it comes to the relevance of the relationship and how to improve the relationship, because that's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
It's like when you're talking about aligned with values and goals and like being vulnerable. I feel like these are the things.
Yeah.
They're the fodder that make the relationship stronger. To
Yeah,
me,
for
at
sure.
least. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would have dates where the girl would just talk about the last fashion trend, talk about, oh, I watched this movie, oh, there's this new up and coming concert, or like, what's that called? Rave?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
And I am not interested in those.
Oh yeah,
So
totally.
We
It's
easily
go-
separated.
It's gonna be hard to get to that level where someone's telling you their vulnerabilities and all their like things, because that takes maybe a couple months if you're seeing them once a week, maybe, right? Or I don't know. Do
I
you
can-
dive in on the first date like, hey, so do you want to have babies? Like, I don't know, like,
No, but you can sense if someone has that or not.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, they have that capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Potential. So I got two more questions. Okay. You're a very driven guy. I mean, I don't want this to sound very chicken soup, but do you think you found the purpose of your life?
Right now, yes. I think my purpose in life is to empower people to communicate like a leader. There you go.
Empower the future.
Empower the future.
Oh,
Communicate
is
like
that
a
set
leader,
up? Okay, okay.
but while also connecting like a friend. So you can be a leader and a friend. I want people to be able to find their voice so that they can feel how free it is to be able to express what you think in a way that is not attracting arguments or conflicts. Like we can always do it in a peaceful manner. That's a long roundabout way to basically say communicate clearly, effectively, and I guess humorously.
This leads to another question that I didn't want to ask.
Uh-oh.
But like when you're having an argument with a girl, do you have more advantages because of your training?
I think vice versa. You know, if you have heard about kung fu gurus, they would say the best self-defense is not fighting at all. So the more that I learn about arguments, I start to argue less. Like when people say fucked up shit about me, like some people say gay, I'm like, yeah, I'm gay, sure, why not? Like learning to say yes and, I think that's also what improv taught me, really helped me out to navigate through all these arguments. And to a point where people start to say, do you even have an opinion? And I say, yes, I do, but are you in the right state of mind to listen? Because if you're in
That's a good
fire,
point.
why would I
Yeah.
tell you right away? Like
sure.
it's just gonna burn. And
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Another question is, because you care about, and you want to encourage people to use their voices.
Yeah.
Okay, to let their voices be heard. Do you have a situation or an experience where you use your voices and then you made a change? Because sometimes, like, we have a lot of situations like, damn, I wish I said that.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. So, would you like to share one?
Absolutely. It was actually my first or perhaps second speech in Toastmasters. And as you could have guessed, it was shitty. I thought that was just a lame speech about me recounting the experience I had with my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. And I was talking about how much do I actually want to go in order to make a sacrifice for someone who I love. And I still go back to that speech and think that it is shitty. But on that night, a girl came up to me with her eyes tearing and said, thank you, I needed to hear that. And you consoled my like broken heart. And I was like, wow, that was powerful.
Wow.
Because like it immediately gave that feedback. So what you say can literally make an instant impact. Nothing, no such skill exists in other industries. Like, yes, you could be good at designing computers, but can you do it in a matter of split seconds? Because the words we choose will affect others tremendously. And this is perhaps also going back to, I guess, very, very back to what you said about style of comedy. I tried talking about what people like to talk about, like sex. But then I start to find that there's no meaning to that. Even if you incited a laughter, right? So I am thinking more about how can I make this show last? How can this be memorable? So when we talk about getting your voice heard, it is not only about speaking out, but it is about speaking into people's heart and let it stay there at least for some time and be useful.
Awesome.
That's so beautiful.
It is.
That is a beautiful
Adam
story.
just fell in love with you.
I did, actually. Yeah, I want to date Andreas, right?
Yes, sure. She said sure.
All
I'd
right.
love to.
Yeah. Another question. I have so many questions.
You have a lot of
What's
questions.
your most recent realization of yourself?
What is my...
That's kind of similar to, I was going to ask you about whether or not you found your voice, because you said you want to empower people to find their voice, but I'm wondering, have you found yours, or is that something that is an everlasting journey or an evolving sort of state of existence?
I would say it's an everlasting journey. Number one, how I can improve as a communicator. Can I be engaging? That's why I do comedy. But also, I'm recently realizing the power of my voice, the quality that I'm speaking. Because if I'm start to speak like this, then I suddenly lose a lot of credibility. Right?
Yeah.
So
I think you're very credible.
So I've been looking, and I had like a vocal coach and then start to explore this. I think that is a new world, and I guess I'm being greedy, but I just really want to improve this comprehensive art of articulating and expressing in a way that I can do it in the best way possible. So that will be the next milestone. But overall, I think my goal in life is, as I said, to do it so well that other people can learn from it.
Awesome. Making meanings. You want to do voice acting, right?
I did voice acting already. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm doing some voice acting.
Awesome.
Oh, okay, I would love to hear you. What did you
Right.
voice acted for? Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have any more questions? Andreas is
No, I'm just gonna like
in
I'm
a
gonna
rush.
set a date with Andreas.
Yes. Okay. Guys, stay tuned to see part 2. Okay, the
Hey,
future
thank you so
child
much. Yeah.
of Adam Hamilton and Andreas. All right. Thank you guys.
For having
so
me,
much.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
too. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
a pleasure to meet.
All
Well,
right.
I already know you.
Yeah.
I love you. What?
Come to my show.
All right. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Okay, all right, stop. Listen, really appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, download, do whatever you can. Let people know that, hey, there's this really cool podcast with, foreigners and Chinese people about China and life. So, you know what the deal is. I'm Adam, and please, I love you. I do.